What's up guys, John here and welcome back to John Moon Studios. Before we begin, if you have not watched part 1 or 2 of this short series, I will link that down below in the description. In this video, we're going to be talking about counter-melodies. So get ready, this is Fundamentals of Songwriting Part 3. Alright guys, thank you again for tuning in. I highly recommend you watch part 1 and part 2 of this short series. I will link that down below in the description. Now, let's take a listen at the first example. Alright, so I pulled up the first example. Let's talk a little bit about what a counter melody is. So a counter melody happens either at the end of the phrase of the main melody, or it happens within the main melody but moving in opposite direction. So what that means is that the melody is, if it's going in an ascending pattern, the counter melody will be descending, and if the main melody is descending, then the counter melody will be ascending. So that's what we're going to base ourselves off now. So here we're looking at the main melody, and as we can see, the melody kind of chills out here, but then the counter melody kicks in and fills in that empty space. So let's take a look at what's going on here. The notes are D, E, D, C. So again, from part 2 of this short series, we talked about chord tones and passing tones. It's the same idea here. So in bar 4 here, we have a C major chord. So we have two chord tones, E and C. And then we have D, which is our passing tone. All it's really doing is filling up the empty space that the main melody has. So now the counter melody plays a G, and then the main melody takes over. Let's look at the second half now. Again, same idea. The main melody holds an E, while the counter melody then goes and fills in that space, same notes, but then towards the end, something interesting happens. We have a harmony. What a harmony is two or more notes put together and essentially forming a chord. And what we have here is we have a D and an F, which is a minor third interval. We then have an E and a G, which is a minor third interval, and then it goes back down to D and F, and then it goes to C and E, which is a major third interval. If you've done your reading and you know that in schools here in America and universities, we study classical, or what you call Western harmony, and pretty much it says that parallel is wrong. You shouldn't use parallel motion, and that's exactly what's going on here. We're using what we call parallel third motion, which is thirds being played in a parallel motion, so one after the other. Now, even though I highly recommend you do study Western harmony and classical harmony and all that fun stuff, I do recommend you study it so you know how it works. But like I say, you learn so you could break the rules later. Most pop music nowadays, they don't even follow these rules. So it's all about if it sounds good. So if it sounds good, you're on the right track. Okay, so we're pretty much going to be doing the same exact thing here, but this time you're going to see the ascending and the descending motion, even though it's happening on a break period for the main melody. But here we have an ascending motion in the main melody, and then we have a descending motion in the counter melody. Then the counter melody has a little break, and then the main melody goes ahead and takes over again. So again, how did I find these notes? using the chord tones and passing tones like we talked about in the previous video. And then here towards the end of the main melody, we have another interesting idea here. So the main melody is moving in eighth notes and the counter melody is moving in what we call quarter notes. Now what it's pretty much doing is it's creating again an opposite motion with the melodies. So the main melody is descending while the counter melody is ascending, and then they go ahead and resolve on the same note, one being that it's an octave higher. So again, moving to the second half, it's literally the same exact thing, but again, here we have the ascending motion, and then we have the counter melody doing a descending motion while the main melody is being it's at rest. And then we have the counter melody being at rest, and then the main melody goes ahead and takes the action again. Towards the end of the melody, we're doing now the effect of the opposite motion at the same time. So the counter melody is moving up, and then the main melody is moving down. So again, what's important to remember is that these are just little examples that I put together to kind of help you understand what counter melodies do, but essentially they are mini melodies that happen within the main melody. If you found the information of this video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. Don't forget to share with your musician friends. I will see you all soon.